Hello. We are going over the 324 biblical prophecies that prove Jesus is the Messiah. You are watching this on the Halachgoy channel of YouTube. I'm a Halachgoy, and you can be one too. 324 biblical prophecies that prove Jesus is the Messiah. Prophecy number 10. The seed of Isaac. This prophecy is found in Genesis chapter 17, verse 19. Then God said, "Yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him." The fulfillment of this prophecy is found in Romans chapter 9, verse 7. Nor, because they are his descendants, are they all Abraham's children. On the contrary, it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. This prophecy is being explained by the Apostle Paul in the book of Romans. This chapter 9 of the book of Romans, is one of the more difficult things for Christians to explain regarding Paul's teachings. Paul basically is saying that not all of Abraham's children or descendants were considered to be his children. That he had a lot of descendants, but many of them were not considered to be part of the promise or part of the children of Abraham. They were sort of castaways or bastards that Paul would say they didn't belong. I'm not sure that that's what is happening in the book of Genesis. I would like to look at the book of Genesis and see what it's really saying here. When we read Genesis chapter 17, verse 19, three words pop out at me. Then, yes, and but. Then God said, "Yes, but." All three of these words indicate that there is a context that we should be reading with this verse. That without understanding the context, you can wind up having all sorts of teachings coming out of it. So let's look at the context and see what it's actually saying. Starting at verse 15. God also said to Abraham, "As for Sarah, your wife, you are no longer to call her Sarai. Her name shall be Sarah. I will bless her and will surely give you a son by her. I will bless her so that she will be a mother of nations. Kings of peoples will come from her." Abraham fell face down. He laughed and said to himself, "Will a son be born to a man 100 years old? Will Sarah bear a child at the age of 90? And Abraham said to God, "If only Ishmael might live under your blessing." Then God said, "Yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, who Sarah will bear to you by this time next year." So what we're seeing here is, yes, there is a covenant that's being spoken of. The covenant is not going to Ishmael. The covenant is going to go to the son Isaac, who is yet to be born. That would sound like Ishmael is kind of out of luck, and that's sort of the way that the Apostle Paul is describing it. That, you know, if you're one of his descendants, but you're not a child, you're not a part of the blessing, you're not part of the covenant, then there are those people that are outside of the covenant, and that doesn't do good in Paul's theology. In God's theology, it's not too bad to be outside of the covenant. You don't have to be part of the Jewish people to be blessed, according to the actual reading of the Torah. And I'm going to look at this here. Abraham is pleading on the behalf of his son. Abraham is a father. He has a father's heart. God understands a father's heart. And Abraham connected with God, and God agreed with him that even though Ishmael was being taken out of the covenant, was losing that place, Ishmael was still important, and Ishmael would be blessed. He would not be forgotten. He would not be thrown to the wasteland or worse. God stayed with him. He grew mighty, and eventually he was a righteous man that came back to Isaac at the time of their father's funeral, and they did reconcile. But he was never part of the covenant, even after that. But yet he was still blessed. That is the heart of the Father. That was Abraham's heart, and that is God's heart. And I don't exactly know where Paul got his teachings from, but it obviously wasn't from the Torah. Well, thank you very much for coming for this one. Our next prophecy, number 11, will be the Lamb of God promised. That's from Genesis chapter 22, verse 8. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you next time.